Hello and welcome guys, ArmaganVideos here, today with a new tutorial / course about team logo design. I've deleted the previous version of this tutorial because I wasn't happy with the result, and yeah. Today's tutorial is going to be a bit different to the other ones since I'm going to attach a theory part for the beginning. Then I give you the finished drawing with the cell shading and highlights applied so that we are ready to create the logo within Illustrator. Theory and how to get the line art. First of all, do's and don'ts. The thickness of the line art or the logo in general should look like it's made with one continuous brush size. No small and detailed shapes next to big and bold ones. The same applies to the negative space. If you don't know what that is, just look it up on Wikipedia. It's basically the space between your created shapes, and it's most evident when the space around or between those shapes that we just created form a artistically relevant shapes such as shadows or highlights. Yeah, I'm going to show you this later. Next up, lightening and shading. Well, in team logo design, we are using cell shading since it's a non-photorealistic style for shadows and it makes the shadows for the logo appear flat. You can also look that up in Wikipedia to get a better understanding of what that really is. It's very nice and detailed shown there. The lines and paths. Always use nice and smooth lines or paths. Don't create too many anchor points on one shape, otherwise it won't look smooth and perfect anymore. You will have jaggy edges and it will look really weird actually, not very professional. So make sure to keep the number of anchor points to a very limited number. I would say like maximum 2. If you can't hold it like this, you can use 3, but yeah, try to keep it low. Next up, the reference images and techniques to get the line art. Well, first of all, you can just draw from out of your mind. You have an idea and draw it down on paper. This is really just for talented artists or people that have a really great power of imagination. So yeah, from time to time I get those crazy ideas that I just need to open up Illustrator and can start right away. The two techniques which are currently shown at the background are basically the same. Just one uses pen and paper, while the other one is using a pen tool within Illustrator. It's up to you which you prefer. It's a very old technique actually. It's being told by some teachers at universities and you can find it in some books. But imagine working with clay. You have a little sphere of clay. How would you start to create a skull, for example? You would start to form the eye holes, the forehead shape itself, the nostrils and teeth. And well, this brings us to the point of creating just the main or important parts, for example. Don't trace something like little hairs or small details, just focus on the important stuff. And yeah, this is basically the technique on how to get the line art. It's the hardest part, for me at least, and it's really about practice. Just get an image of an animal and try to use this technique on the image. Alright guys, that's it for the theory. Let's start with the tutorial as always. So here we are in Illustrator, right about to create the logo. And of course I'm going to provide this document right here for you guys in the description. It's basically the line art, the cell shading and the highlights. And I have to admit, actually this is the hardest part of creating a team logo. Getting the line art perfectly and actually having the great power of imagination to get this kind of robe or cape right here and to illustrate the skull itself. And yeah, for me this is the hardest part because I know every single tool of Illustrator actually. Yeah, I would say yes, but if you're not aware of every single tool within Illustrator, I mean, this doesn't have to be the hardest part. If you're a very great artist in drawing, this will be very easy for you. But then coming to Illustrator will be hard. So this tutorial or course is actually combining everything you need to create cool looking team logos. And later on, when we're about to shade our logo, I'm going to show you this technique of using this 3D sphere right here to actually achieve a great looking shading for your logo. So yeah. First of all, make sure that your file or your document is in the RGB color mode, because later on we could get problems or issues with the black. So let's call this one our preparation. let's lock this up, create a new layer. Let's call it line art. So what we need to do now is zoom in, press Command R to get our guidelines if we need them. And let's create a black stroke. First of all, I'm going to create this rope right here. I think it's called like this cape, rope, hoodie. But yeah, and let's first create a guideline because we're only drawing one half and then copying it over and alternating it. As you can see here, it's a bit different from the left side. So yeah, grab the pen tool by pressing P, and remember that I've told you in the beginning the do's and don'ts. Don't use too many anchor points when creating your shapes. So yeah, keep this in mind, guys. I think I'm going to start from somewhere around here, and I want to have it a ground right here. So don't forget that. Let's start from, I don't know where to start from. Yeah, let's start from the top head right here. So as you can see, we could do this with with two single anchor points, but I think it will look too round. So, well, we can try it out. Let's just see. Clicking Alt to get rid of this anchor right here, and let's go just around here. As you guys should know, this is always the same process. Once you get the sketch ready, at least for me, this is the easiest part. So let's just follow this shape. Don't forget, guys, you can download this in the description and follow the tutorial live right now. So always keep in mind to create smooth and nice shapes. Something like this should do the trick. And here. A little trick to actually get nice and even shapes is when you're going to the middle guideline, to the center right here, hold down Shift so it rotates in like this 45-degree portions right here, and make sure that it's like perfectly in the middle. So once you copy it over, there are no problems then. So let's go up here. If we now press Shift X to actually change the stroke to the fill color, you can see that we got this right here. Let me double click right on here. And the layer options will pop up, and let's click dim images to around 50%. And yeah. And as you can see, guys, we have like really thin lines right here. In team logos, you don't want too thin lines. So we should try to adjust the anchor points a bit further, just like this. Because as I told you in the beginning, everything should look like as it was used, or it was continuously used, a brush with the same size. So this should be equal to this kind of right here and there and here. So since this is a bit of a detailed team logo right here, as you can see, this is very thin. You should avoid something like this. It's pretty hard to achieve this style of just using one brush. Sometimes you just can't follow the rules, but yeah. So I hold down Alt and copy this one over to one side, then press O to get the rotate tool, the reflect tool. And I've just rotated this. Select this shape, select this one more time, just clicking here, not holding down Shift. Then go to Align, click on this little arrow right here, and then hit this right here, Horizontal Distribute Space. Since this is the key object, this is going to be aligned horizontally on this thingy right there. I'll select both and go to Pathfinder and let's unite them. Lately, I think there's an issue with guides. You can't select them, you can't delete them. Let me just quickly see. Guides, lock guides. No, don't lock him. Yeah, as you can see, in previous versions, we didn't have this lock thingy right here. So as you can see, there's no separate layer here in between. It's perfectly matched up, so that's pretty fine. Let's bring this to the middle again. Let's just press Ctrl Z. And next up, let's focus on the skull itself. We are starting from here again. Boom. I want to, like, as I've told you also in the beginning, we want the negative space to have the same angle of curves like our, yeah, like this curve right here. So you can see this curve matches this one right here. This will bring you the effect of thinking that everything is painted again with one single brush, which will look great later on. So now let's drag this down to get the thief going. Just like this. Let's drag this in. Hold down Shift again. Let's go up here. Boom. Of course, now we need to give it a black color, else we won't see anything. Next up, what we should create. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, should be fixed later on. Next up, let's create the nostrils, I think it's called. I don't know. Oh, let me get rid of this. Yeah, here we need some more anchor points. As you can see, we can't just do it with one take. Oh. Also try to get it as smooth as possible. Usually I just try to get maximum 2 anchor points, but right here we need some more to get this shape. Boom, there we go. Let's create the eye hole right here. I want this to be really strict. Boom. Then again, as you can see, the eye hole should match the shape of this right here, of the skull. Press Shift X so you can see what you're doing. Let's round this up a bit more, and this should be strict one again. Boom. Okay, so let's select this one, press Shift X, select this and the background by holding Shift. Go to the Pathfinder and hit minus front. There we go. Let's zoom in again. And let's concentrate on the jaw. I think it's called jaw, right? So there we go. The teeth should be looking really sharp, razor blade like. There we go. There we go. And this is what I've meant with the negative space. Look at this. We have the head, the skull right here, and then the jaw, and the line in between, the negative space right here, seems like it has the same brush size as being used on the jaw right here. And this is really important to get a great look. I think this looks even better than the previous logo that I've created. So let's focus on the eyes again. Just going to grab this shape right here, make it really strict, just like the eye hole itself. Press Shift X again, and let's draw this out right here. Don't worry, I've made this with intention. Now we're dragging out a circle. Hit Shift X and this one again, and minus fronted. There we go. Okay, now let's bring this over. Press Ctrl G, hold down Alt and Shift to drag it to the right. Press O, press your left mouse button, hold down Shift and rotate it. Now select this again, just click in here one more time, go to Align, Distribute Spacing. Oh, it didn't copy over the eye, that's an important thing to do. So select everything again, group it up one more time, bring it over, O, rotate it, and Boom. If we bring this away, let me see. Yeah, perfect. We can now select those two, go to Pathfinder and unite it. There you go. Basically, we don't need this anymore. Looks pretty great. So that's it for the line art so far. If we go to the outline mode by pressing Command and Y, you can see that everything looks perfect actually. Very great lines. Also the head, although it's a bit round, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, so let's double click on our layer again, deselect the dim images too, and let's color this. Here for I've had this, and for the skull this color, and later on for the path extending shape I'm going to use this color right here, this dark bluish. Okay, next up guys, for the cell shading. Well, this is there's a lot of science going on for the cell shading actually. There are many techniques out there, but basically what I found out is actually it's a talent to be good at cell shading, because you need a very strong imagination. A trick that I'm always using is creating this ball right here to imagine where my shadows have to be. As you can see, in our finished logo right here, we have a little sphere right here, a little circle that's indicating that the light is coming from the top right of our logo. What does this mean? When the light is coming from right around here, it's shining down on our logo. Here's the head, the cape, and this right here is a shadow then. Also, here we have the cape again. This on the left is a shadow. As you can see, the down left part right here, the bottom left part is black. This indicates all the shadows have to be on the left left bottom part of our logo. Here you can see down left, down left, down left. Here it's completely on the face because the cape itself is casting a shadow. Here again, down left and down left again. And you can use this sphere to also get a imagination of the highlights. The light is being casted from the top right, so here we actually have some light going on, as well as on the right side of the face and on the jaw itself. So yeah, I'm just going to show you how to create this this sphere right here to create your own shading. First of all, drag out a circle, create a rectangle that goes directly to the middle, select both, and use the shape builder tool by pressing Shift M. Hold down Alt and subtract them. It's basically a cooler way to use the Pathfinder. Now you have this one right here, make it white. Go to Effect, and then I think it was Revolve. Let me see if turn on Preview. You can use diffuse or plastic shading. I use plastic to see the light a bit better. Oh, don't press Map Art. Go to more options. And now you can see that our light is like, of course you can decide by yourself where the light should be coming from. I wanted to make a light from the top right, so let's decrease the ambient light to make it really dark and go to the blend steps and crank this up to make it smooth. And the light intensity, bring this down a bit more. And now you can imagine the light is coming from the top right, so the shadows have to be on the down left. If it's coming from the top left, they have to be down right, and so on and so forth. Pretty unique or pretty cool way to actually get an imagination of where your light should be coming from. Alrighty, so next up I'm just going to grab this shape, bring it down here for the shading. There you go. Let's dim the image to 50% again. Select our two shapes, go to transparency, crank this down to 50%. So we can actually see through. And let's lock this up. And let's create another layer, and we're calling this cell shading. Alrighty, and make sure to press Command and U if you haven't. You can tell by getting those green lines when you're going through shapes. This is basically smart guides, or showing you, yeah, I think they're called smart guides, right? Yeah, Command U. They're helping you to find the shape from above. So let's create the shadow. Therefore, I'm grabbing a black pen tool, and I'm just going to create them. In case you're wondering, why is he going outside of the shape? Well, I'm using the Pathfinder tool to get perfect, oh, not the Pathfinder, the shape builder tool to get like perfect results later on. As you can see, I have to be very precise right here. Now deselect the line art, select those two, press Shift M, and hold down also the plus transforms to the minus. Just click on here, and there you go, the perfect shadow. As you can see, I messed up with the angle of the anchor point right here. We could adjust this now a bit further to make it perfect. As you can see, there's this little angle right here going on. Let me see. I think it's not a big deal though. And just select this one and bring it down to around 50%. So if you crank this up again, you will get a perfect result for the shading. There you go. But let's turn this down again. What do we had? 50, I guess. Okay, this is basically the same step all over again. Go to our soul shading, make sure that we're dragging out a nice and clean shape for the shadow. As I told you, for me, this is basically the easiest parts. And if you're advanced in Illustrator, it should also be very easy for you. The hardest part is to get the drawing ready, the line art, the idea, and yeah. So let's start right here again. As you can see, I'm always trying to get... we forget one. Yeah, we forgot one thing. Let me get rid of this real quick. Let's bring this up again to 100%. As you can see, guys, I forgot to adjust this little piece right here. This one. It's not a big deal though. We're just going to grab our pen tool and drag out our shape from here to over there. Very smooth. Select them, get the shape builder tool again, and just draw through here. There we go. Let's see how the result is looking like. Not the best. As you can see, it's a very thin line again. We don't want that. So let's adjust this a bit further. Boom. Okay, let's bring this down to 50% again. Make a lock in front of it, and there we go. Well, let's grab our black color. Go to the cell shading layer. Why can't I draw? What is happening? Oh, it's turned off. So, go to the top. Drag out a nice shape. There we go. And what do we have to do next? Yeah, for the skull. Okay. Therefore, let's see. We need to start right from the middle. And then go up here. Oops. Just press Ctrl Z if you are messing up something. Where's the anchor point? Oh, it's perfectly here. Okay. Next up, we need to go down here. Or let me see if I can just... Yeah, I'm going to make my life easier for the later part. We'll see why. Oh, too many anchor points. Just go into the middle and let's close this up. Well, first of all, let's fix those right here. We're going to select all the shapes and use the Shift M, the shape builder again. Hold on Alt to subtract it. I think here as well. Let me see. Shift M, Alt, boom, there we go. Of course, this will look weird now because there's this little whoop and then going in here again. Same here. This isn't the fine English way of doing this, but it's fine for this tutorial. Of course, you at home should spend way more time on making this perfect. And the nostrils. Oops, why didn't this work? Okay, now it did. Okay, that's it for our shadows. Let's select, oh, it went into the... Somehow my mouse is always double clicking on here in OS X, I don't know why. There we go. And for the eyes, we've used a very strong red. Let's see if this is not too strong. Something like this should do the trick. Turn off the preparation. Let's see how it looks so far. Looks fine to me. Maybe we should round up the eye right here later on, but well, it's up to you guys. And of course, actually, if you're having something like this, you should select this shape, and this is a feature of the newest version of Illustrator CC, guys. This little point right here, it's not a plugin or something like this. I get asked a lot of these questions. Just drag it down to round that up actually, but since we've already created the shadow right here and I don't want to spend too much time in this tutorial to bore you out, I'm just going to leave it like this. Well, let's copy this over. There we go. We should do the same stuff again. Select both, make this one the key object, go to align, distribute it horizontally. Okay, then there's a little mistake. As you can see, this line right here. Let's see if it works if we combine them. Yeah, still works. This is going to be the shadow. Just select the eye by using the direct selection tool, making it red. Not 50% though. 100. Okay, we're going to fix this later on. Oh, it was because of the group. Okay, we were not finished with the preparation. Need to grab this. Why is it in a compound mask? Well, that's weird, guys. Well, let's bring this down to 50%. We're going to adjust this later on. Well, of course, now we need to focus on our shadow again. Make it black real quick. Make sure to close it up. Where did we start though? I think I'm missing something. Wasn't it this one? Or did it create another anchor point? Oh, sometimes Illustrator is very frustrating, guys. Frustrator. Adobe Frustrator. Okay, no, it did work. Just had to drag away the anchor point. Let's drag it up there again. Okay, well, let's select this shape, our skull, the shape builder tool, and get rid of those outstanding things right here. What is this right there? Press Command Y to get those two shapes. Oh, what? Why is it doing this? Oops. Let me close that up again. Well, let's select the shadows, unite them, make them one thing. Let's see if this doesn't even belong there. So let's move this and delete it real quick. Okay, now we got this working. As you can see, there's this little weird issue going on with this red layer right here from the line art. Let me see. Oh, I'm just going to bring this back. Let's turn this off and lock it. So we're just having the shadows right here. I see if this is confusing for you guys, but that's because we have separate layers, and this is basically just the shading. We want to get the shadows as one single part, so we can crank down the opacity to like 15%. And if we then turn on our normal layer right here and crank this up to 100, we're going to get our nice and smooth shading. Just, I don't know what this little part right here is. I think it's a bit from using the shape builder tool, but we're going to find this out. Let's open up the layer panel and let's see, isn't it this shape right here? Yeah, select it and delete it. Boom. There we go. Oh, we wanted to crank this down again. 50%, right? This one as well. Okay. Let's focus on the shadow right here. It's basically every time the same. Go from the tooth all the way down to the bottom. Hold down shift so you're getting a nice and smooth shape. Make sure to go completely around this. Make it black. Select those two. Hit shift O. Wrong combination. Shift M. Not command M. There we go. As you can see, this got maybe way too strong right here. Maybe we should adjust this a bit. Something like this. And just click on this shape, press E to get the eyedropper tool, and click on here so it adapts the transparency and the color itself. There you go. I think that's it for the cell shading part right here. Let me turn off the preparation layer and see how this looks. Yep. And well, next up we need to focus on our highlights. Select everything again, bring it down below for the next stage. And the next stage is basically bringing this shape over here. As you can see, the highlight is going here very slightly. So let's see how we could do this best. I think we should copy this shape. Oh, at first, guys, create a new layer and call it highlights. Next up, select this one, press Ctrl C, Ctrl F to paste it in front, press O to rotate it and make sure to line it up perfectly with our drawing right here, with the line art itself. And we need to get rid of this overlaying shadow right here. Let me turn off the cell shading real quick. Oh, this is on the wrong. Make sure, as you can see, this has a green color. That means that indicates that this shape is a part of this layer right here. Make sure to click on this layer, hit Ctrl X, lock this up and bring it into the highlights layer. Okay, there we go. Now I want to get rid of this whole shadow right here because we are focusing on the highlights. So let's drag a really thin line right here. Let's drag this out. Turn on the shadows again to see this little line right here, and it should be like this. Let's drag this out in this complete shape. This may be a dirty way of getting rid of the shadow, but it saves us some time right now. Boom. Select those two shapes, go to, where do we have it? Pathfinder. Subtract it. Let's grab this shape, and because this is a highlight, we don't want it to be black, we want to make it white and bring up the transparency to like 50%. Make sure that it's really white. Yeah, it is. And later on, when we're adding our blue background color, you will see that this will look really great. And just as I mentioned in the beginning, the light is coming from the top right, so the right side of the face is being illuminated. And yes, let's continue with the highlights. And therefore, we can just copy over this shape. Why can't I select it? Is it on a different Oh, okay. Well, as you can see, this shadow part right here went to the wrong layer also. So make sure to click on the cell shading, press Ctrl F again to paste it into this layer. And now Ctrl C, go to the highlights, Ctrl F, bring it over here, hit O to reflect it, and make sure to align it perfectly. Then press I and give it this color again. So make sure to save, otherwise you will cry if the computer decides to just go down. Last but not least, we need to create our top highlight. And therefore, I'm just going to make a nice and round shape right here. Maybe we could also try to achieve this by just using one anchor point, which I really prefer, but I think it won't look that round. Oh, it does. Okay, so then, of course, make it completely. Now we need our line art and the highlight layer. Oh, wrong combination again, guys. I'm so used to Windows. Shift M and minus this away. And what we now need to get is our ellipse tool to create this nice circle. Select both shapes, unite them. Now select this, press I, get this one right here, and boom, our highlights are finished. If we now turn off everything and make sure that this will get 100%, this will get 100% as well as our cape. There we go. Looks perfect. Maybe this is a bit, oh, 50, that's too much, 15. Or something like 13. 30, not 13. Okay, this should do the trick, guys. Okay, so now what we need to do is the basic stuff that we're doing always. Let's actually grab the whole shape right here, Ctrl C, everything. Ctrl C, lock everything up as a backup, create a new layer, call this logo. And let's paste it right into here again. So everything is on one layer right now. What we need to do now is create our extended path. Path offset. Let's see. I think, yeah, that's enough. Maybe let's see if we bring up the meter limit. See if it adjusts. Yeah, looks like some weird ears going on right here. But that should be fine. Hit OK. Bring down every single expanded shape down. Hit Unite. And let's turn on our preparation layer again. Make sure to get rid of the dimming. Boom. Let's give it this color right here. And you're wondering, what the hell is this? It looks like Darth Vader, but that's not Darth Vader. That's our background, guys. So let's make sure to make this perfect. Select all this, unite it. And maybe we should just do one side, because we're going to save some time there. As you can see, this isn't perfect right here. So we should imagine how this could continue right here. Something like this. Okay. Let's fill this up now. Oh, the yellow color looks so weird on this display. Yeah, this should be fine. Select it, unite it, grab our rectangle again, go directly to the middle. There we go. Subtract it, bring it over, press O, rotate it. Select both shapes, select this one, go to align, distribute it, and unite the shape. Boom. That will be our background right there. Right click, arrange, send to back. Send to tobacco. There we go. Let's see if we need to. Yes, I think it's perfectly aligned. Okay, everything perfect right here. Make sure to save. Only thing missing right now is the text, and therefore I'm going to use my favorite font for this kind of stuff. Let's select this color and let's call it Skeletons. Skeletons United. NFL San Diego Chargers is it's called. Let's crank this up a lot. It should be bigger than the skeleton itself, so even bigger. Boom. Something like this. Now let's go to Object, Expand. Hit OK. And right click, ungroup. Oops, right click, ungroup. And select only this, group it, this, group it. And now select this one as a key object and make sure to center that up. Let's bring it up a bit further. And select both of them and make sure to center them to our background right here. Let me just quickly reposition myself on this old chair right here. All right. Next up, what we should do is create, select those both. Let me just quickly change the color. This is horrific, guys. Let me make it dark blue. That's even worse. Well, we're just going to leave it like this. Well, select both groups that we just created. Go to Effect, Warp, and I think it was Arc Lower. Yep. As you can see, it's on a positive 50%. We want to bring it down to like minus 20. Minus 15, I guess, is better. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. Hit OK. And as you can see, there's this light rounding going on, but the top of the United doesn't have it. So make sure to go to United again. Effect, Warp, Arc, Upper this time. Yes, apply new effect. This time we want to have it positive, and we want to match this little rounding directly to this United right here. So I think 9% is good. Let's bring this up and see. Yeah, seems okay. There we go. Now select the whole text, go to Object, Expand Appearance. Let's go to Effect now to achieve the 3D looking extrude and beveling. Hit Preview. Let's go to Front, I think it was, and let's bring this up. Let's go to Perspective. And as you can see what the perspective is actually doing, why is it black? You wanted to have this color right here. Let's do it again, guys. Select everything, press Ctrl H so we're not getting distracted by all the anchor points. Go to Effect 3D, Extrude and Bevel. Select front again, preview, bring this up, something like this. And if we now increase the perspective, let me just quickly see, guys, what happens if we bring this down to 0. Yeah, it's going to make it like this, but we want to lay it down like on the floor, just like this. Something like this. I think the extrusion, the extruding is, yeah, extrusion was right. The extrusion is a bit too big, so let's crank this down to 25 and see. Maybe even too much. Let's see if we can bring this down to around. Let me guess, guys. Let's see how it looks without the perspective, actually. I think this was what I've used in the beginning, so let's just continue with this kind of style right here. Don't use the perspective. Let's just do it like this. And let's see if we hit OK. Does it look good? No, doesn't look too good. I want to make it like a bit to the side. So how could we achieve this? Maybe we should go to Extrude and Bevel again, hit Preview. If you don't have this, you can go to Window Appearance. I think we should use a bit of perspective. I think that's fine, guys. Or maybe that was too much. Let me see if we use... This is just basically me trying out to get the perfect settings, guys. Of course, you can do this as well. You're not forced to make it exactly like mine right here. I'm just trying to get a great looking effect right here. But I think this should be okay. Let's hit OK. See how this looks. Well, it's fine. I think the extrusion though is a bit too much again. So let's try 20. As you can see on the S right here, it's quite crazy. Also, maybe too much of an extrusion. Doesn't look great. So something like... I really don't know, guys, if we should use perspective or not. I mean, this looks great, don't you think? This right here. Well, let's finish this up. I'm just going to leave it like this. Of course, you can decide if you want to leave it like this or change it up later on, but I think this looks fine. So select the whole shape, go to Object, Expand Appearance. One more time, expand just to make sure, press Ctrl H again so you can actually see those anchor points. And while you're having everything selected, go to Object, Ungroup, make it sometime. Okay. Now we're finished and let's select all the single ladies. Nope. All the single top parts of our letters right here. First one, this, then group this up by pressing Ctrl G, and now those right here. Ctrl G again. Let's select both and bring them down. Because if we turn on the outline mode by pressing Command Y, you can see why this looks weird due to all those little lines right here. And when we later on want to turn on the offsetting path on this shape right here, this will be a complete mess. So make sure to select everything and hit Unite. There we go. Now we can bring this up again. Oops. Of course, those two. It's really important that you make it perfect. As you can see, there's this little, let's select those again. There's this little edge right here that will kill us later on, so make sure to make it perfect. Just like this. As you can see, there are some weird little thingy going on right here. That's because some shapes are in front of our text, so just bring it to the front. Now select all this and make sure to unite it. We just need the full path. Oops. Let's leave it here and let's go to Object, Path, Offset Path. Let's make it a bit bigger actually, maybe 14. Yeah. Hit OK. Select everything again, unite it. And now we only need to clean this up. There we go. Want to fill this out pretty much. Select everything again. And this weird looking triangle right here can be deleted by just deleting the top anchor point. Also right here we're having a mess going on, so you could also create this shape manually. I'm not a big fan of this though, because I mean, look at this result. It's actually perfect. It's just adding too much anchor points. But if you're making it for a client, of course you have to clean that up later on. But for the purpose of this tutorial, it couldn't be better and faster actually. So and what I mean by cleaning it up for a client, in case you're wondering, is getting rid of all those anchor points and having as less anchor points as possible. Otherwise, it could be that some printers are going to, or they want to cut your head off, because this is really a pain in the, so just be sure to make it perfect. Now give it this background color, bring it up, right click, arrange, send to back. Make sure to center this, bring it up by using the arrow keys. And I think we should have used some perspective, since I've also used it in the preview that I've showed you. But yeah, you can just try to figure out how it should look best for you guys. Let's see if everything looks great. Yep, it does. So this is it. And that's basically the logo, guys. You've made it. Of course, I'm going to show the little ArmaganVideos trick that I'm always showing in the tutorials. And let me just quickly see on my list if I have to do some more stuff. No, I think we're finished really. I'm just going to add the little ArmaganVideos trick to this right here, and then we are good to go. Well, let's select this whole shape, unite it completely, and now we go to graphic styles, Illuminate styles. Then this little pop-up will, this little window would pop up. Give it this great looking preview right here, preset, and let's drag it right in front of this again. Now you're wondering, what the hell is he doing? Just trust me. Bring this down to a right 25 to around 25 and hit overlay, and this will give you the extra bit of gradients on your logo, bit more variation. And of course, what I would do is, before adding this one right here, I would actually grab all this again, unite it, and make one offset path around it again. Let me see. Something like 10 pixels. Maybe 9. Should be fine. Select everything. Give it the color of the skull. Make sure to align it. Right click, arrange, send to back. And boom. There we go. As you can see, there's this little mistake going on right here. So just get rid of it. There we go. Now you can copy it over again, make the little ArmaganVideos trick that I just showed you, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it for now. This is it, guys. We've created this awesome looking team logo right here. And since some of you asked me on how I create this cool background, or I don't think it's really cool, but it's basic. Let's open up Photoshop and I'm going to show you. Well, there we go. I've just created a new shape. Make it full HD as always. A new document, not shape. Now press Ctrl V. Of course, beforehand in Illustrator, I've just selected everything. Press Ctrl C to copy that whole thingy. And now I'm in Photoshop and can press Ctrl V. That's really cool from Adobe to actually implement this. Copy this in as a smart object. Let's scale it up a bit further, just like this. And now let's press Ctrl J to create a copy. Bring it to the background and let's scale this up. Maybe not too. Yeah, well, we're just going to do this. Just like this. Now create a new solid with the color. Oh, pink looks really great actually. With the color of our skeleton united right here. Let's select the background shape, bring it down to around 50% so it's not getting too much attention. And let's go to filter, blur gallery, iris blur. Let's make sure to rotate this a bit and shape this out just like this. Crank this down to around 8 pixels. There we go, something like this should be fine. Hit OK. Next up, create a black solid. Make sure to rasterize it. Go to filter, noise, add noise. Give it a little bit of noise, maybe 12 is too much, let's say 7. Monochromatic, we don't want it to have any color, and then you just bring it down to Lighten. It's really hard to tell on this screen now because I hooked up my MacBook on a very bad screen actually to see on how this looks, but I think there's something going on right here. Yeah, as you can see if we bring it down to overlay, but there's some noise right now. And next up, what you only need to do is go to gradient, make it black. Also here, hit OK, radial, reverse it, and crank up the scale. Now you can bring this to overlay. Maybe shrink this down a bit further. And if you want to add the little bit of extra thingy, you can go to color lookup and scroll through those right here. This will change the background a bit. As you can see, this also looks great actually, but yeah, well, I'm just going to leave it like this. It was just to show you how I create those backgrounds. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of creating this team logo. Of course, I'm just going to show you the techniques to create all this. This is not, I can't show you how to create every single team logo. It's basically about your practice and how much time you put in to create those line arts, the shading, the highlights, and all of this, which then leads to a great looking team logo. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for almost 30,000 subscribers now. That's awesome. Of course, you will find everything that we used in this tutorial right here in the description so you can rebuild it. And yeah, see you in another tutorial, guys. ArmaganVideos.